I am back. You know what? My battery went, and then I kind of thought, okay, well, that was meant to be. And then I just skipped down the field, and it was just all lovely and all nice because the sun was out. And I hope you've been enjoying the sun today. So I am back because I started, so I'll finish because I feel like there's something that I wanted to get out in this. In my last video, if you've not watched it already, but it was the hashtag Walking Wednesday. Obviously I'm inside now, so I'm not outside walking or anything like that. But you know, feel free to turn up on Wednesday, use this as your accountability group, just to get you outside, because the thing is, at the end of the day, the more we're walking outside, the more clarity, the more focus, and the more consistent that we become. It's so amazing that sometimes we, and then even I've done this, we put walking to one side as if like we don't have time for it. But when we make time for the things that are like journaling, spit it out, Trina, I can tell. Like journaling, like dancing, like gratitude, like walking, like all these things. They're those things that help us manifest. They're those things that distract us while we're trying to manifest. And they're those things that are that help us get through quite a lot of emotions, sometimes heavy emotions. Especially if you're like doing, you know, on a spiritual path or something like that, you might have some heavy emotions come up. Look, it's not all unicorn and rainbows or anything like that. It's far from it. And even, you know, in the last video, you could see that what I was saying about, you know, the degree and stuff, and you know, and not making it that day, not making the cut, so to speak. It's hard. It can be hard, but these things are thrown up, so we learn from them. And there were 3 things that I've learned from that moment of yesterday. 3 things that I've learned from letting the fear out, and I could feel it in my body, and I thought, I'm not going to move from this position. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm not going to say hi if you're here. I'm not going to go into this mode where I start doing other things. I'm going to sit here. Hey Vicky, hey again. But I didn't want to go into the position of sitting, of walking around, doing all the washing, doing everything else. Instead, I just sat with the fear, and then obviously the fear came out. And you can see that in the last video. Vicky, you were there on the last video. But I wanted to talk about what letting the fear out did for me. So letting the fear out what it did for me was it enabled me to learn that emotions were transient. So during that evening, during yesterday, what I noticed was, as it came up in waves, and then it went again, and then it came up in another wave, and then it went again. So the fear came up in a wave, and then it would go again, and I'd feel great again. So it would come up in a wave, I'd cry, almost like purging, and then it would go again. So I learned that all emotions are transient. They come through and they go, like weather. You know, you see a cloud, it's gone. You know, it's ever changing. It's ever changing. I also noticed that it wasn't as scary as what I thought it would be as well. So that was really good to know. The other thing that I learned as well is that I'm going to transcribe because everything that I'd learned had gone from my head. I couldn't even commit to paper. And I talk about this all the time. I talk about safety, innate safety. I talk about how, you know, the research behind this, how parenting has changed due to that. We actually started off doing a thing called cupboard love, which is where parents were taught to feed children as a part of love and cuddle them rather than keeping them safe. What do they need? A roof over their heads. They need to be kept safe, warm, etc. They're the things that the baby wants the most. That level of comfort, not a hug. It's the level of comfort of knowing that you've got the security. So, and babies already know this. It's already inbuilt within them, and the science is there. I mean, like 20, 30, loads of years of all this science with animals and children. So it kind of made me realise that during this time, we don't need certain things. We just need a really good level of safety. The third thing that I learned, if I can remember it now, I think was cupboard love or something like that. But I'll go with it. I'll go with whatever comes up. That was it. Transcribing. So I'm going to talk it out. That's it. Because I know it. So I might as well just transcribe it instead while I kind of overcome my fear. Because obviously it's a fear that's been there for a long time. The memory that's attached to the fear is actually from my exams. Actually it's before that. I know when it's from. When I had a dummy up until the age of 7. And I always needed something in my mouth all the time. So, and I was fed a lot when I was about 10 years old, so I was about size 16 at 10. So I used to have like massive plates of food, and my mum used to feed me. That's the way she showed me that she loved me. And that thing then carried on into adulthood. And every time I felt some kind of guilt, some kind of shame, even if I kept the guilt and the shame down, so I was like on the outside going, yeah, I don't really give a shit about anything. And on the inside, I was feeling so guilty, so fearful that's what happened. That I would then go into like comfort eating mode. So it was a lot more psychological for me, and that's when I started to realise in the fitness industry that a lot of the fitness industry is completely fucking flawed. So so that's another story for another day. But the other thing that I learned as well is that everything is not as bad as what we feel it is. That was it. Everything is not as bad as what we think it is at the time. Our perception of the truth is so different to what our ego, so the thing that's keeping us safe, is telling us. It's so different. So after all the crying and everything, after the purging, oh my God, fucking hell, after all that kind of stuff, you can then, because the emotion's gone, you can then sit with it and overlook it and go, and you can kind of have an objective eye on it and notice, okay, it's not as bad as what I thought it was. I was told that I only need another 34 points and I've passed the whole module anyway, so it's not as bad as what I felt it was last night. And because the emotion's now gone, I'm able to see it with a more clearer view. So I hope this kind of resonates with anyone who watches this, because you know, it's important to know that sometimes emotions can really cloud our judgment. They can it's not that emotions are bad to have or anything, far fucking from it. We have emotions for a reason. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because when we start to let the emotion out, it frees up our body as well. So this is the final point. It's actually a bonus thing that I wanted to tell you about. So I didn't tell anyone. Over the last few days, I developed a spot just behind my teeth on my gum. So I developed a spot just behind my teeth on my gum. Really fucking irritating. And it came up as soon as I needed to get this assignment in. And I'm the type of person that recognises that there's something going on in the body, but I just didn't know exactly what it was. And it was the fear. So when we've got, like, say, maybe fear in our body, maybe when we're worried and things, it comes out in us, in our own immune system, in our own physiology. Our own immune system isn't able to repair itself as fast, so we end up getting ill. So I ended up with this spot. And I'm no Chinese medicine expert or anything like that, right? There are people in here who are. Sally Varley is one of them. So I had a look at the Chinese medicine teeth chart, because Chinese medicine, when you look at your teeth chart, it tells you which teeth are related to where in your body, which organ, and also your bones as well. And what I noticed was here, behind my teeth, is actually connected to my lower spine, to the base of my spine. And the base of my spine is actually my root chakra, all about my security and my safety and my, and keeping me safe. So I'd already been alerted by my body, but I couldn't kind of pinpoint or even put it together. And I think the more that aware that we've become of our own physiology, the more mindfully present that we become, the more we're able to make our own decisions for ourselves, because honestly, I don't give out programs or anything like that to people. It's about learning to feel them out in yourself. And two, you then start to recognize, oh shit, when something comes up. Like say if I've never had a cold sore in years, a couple of years now since doing all this work. But if anything comes up, like say, I know what I'm going to mention to you guys actually. If I do feel a little bit of a cold sore, I'm like, oh fucking hell no. I know I need to say something. I know I'm quite angry. And I know if I don't say it, it's just going to come angrily out my face instead. Does that make sense? I hope this makes sense to everyone who's watching this. Right, because our body talks to us. It talks to us on a daily basis. So when we're going through a level of fear, a level of worry, it's talking to us whether it's muscular, whether it's skeletal, or whether it's through illness, or maybe we're ran down or something like that. So as soon as we start to be more aware of our body, we can then just tune into it. And it just makes things a little bit easier for us as we kind of go on our path of life. We then can make decisions that are based on us, not based on what society or even what I want you to do, right? We make those decisions based on us, and we find people that we want to work with, or that we are really gelled to, and we can really feel into that, and we go, yeah, I want to work with them. I know I'm going to work with them. I know I'm going to be here. And then you're manifesting prowess like goes skyrockets. So I'll leave it there for today. I hope you've got some really great information from that, and I will see you very soon. Thank you, Angela, for watching. Thank you, Vicky, for watching, and anyone else who's watched today. Please do join me next week for #Walking Wednesday. Share some pictures as well. You know, get outside. Use this as your accountability group. I will come and cheer you on, whoop, 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 and give you all the love as you get out and get walking. Because as I said before, when you're walking, you're going to get focus, clarity, and a lot more fucking concentration. Honestly, it works wonders when your head is in a funk. So it frees up your head when it's in a funk. So anyway, I'm going to get off. See you later. Mwah.